On March 22nd, 2016, Brussels was rocked by a series of deadly terrorist attacks as bombs exploded at Zaventem Airport and the Maalbeek metro station, leaving 32 people dead and hundreds more wounded, marking a tragic chapter in Europe's fight against terrorism. Where were you at the moment of the attacks and what were you doing?
At the moment of the attacks, I was chief of the federal police in Belgium, general commissioner, and I was in the office of the operational director of the judicial police in Brussels, because for some weeks already we were monitoring the situation related to terrorism in the country. We had the year before, end of the year, Verviers, the terrorist plot that we dismantled. But the situation was very volatile. So on a daily basis, between 7 and 8 in the morning, we did see one another to discuss the situation on the field. And I remember that I was in his office when we received the phone call from the head of the Brussels airport police to tell us that we were confronted with an attack.
And what has stayed with you from those moments?
What stayed with me from those moments was in fact the victims, of course, because we did lose a lot of people that day, people traveling, people for business. Also, when I visited the day after the airport in Brussels, you saw the damage, and you saw the traces of the harm that was done. And during the day of the attacks, I remember the discussions we had on difficult decisions we needed to take to try to save people. What we didn't know is how many active cells we were confronted with.
So today is actually the European Remembrance Day for Victims of Terrorism. Is there a message that you would like to give to those who have been impacted by terrorism?
Yes, the threat has not gone. I can see it here in Europol with the assessments of the Counter Terrorism Centre. We are confronted to serious and organized crime, but we are also confronted with terrorist threats. The lesson we learned from Brussels and Paris and other cities that were confronted with terrorist attacks is that we really need to cooperate and we really need to exchange information, also with relevant third countries. And we can never forget the victims. So it's very important that we put everything together to have a good investigation and to try to identify the people behind, and then on a much wider perspective to work on the causes of terrorism.
And we're in the room Fraternité today. This room, it holds a specific importance from the aftermath of the Brussels attack. Can you tell us a bit more about how this room was used and how Europol was used during these times in 2016?
Yes, in 2016, in Belgium, confronted with the terrorist attacks, we needed help. And we needed Europol. We invited Europol to come to our offices to go through the databases. Do we have perpetrators that are known already on European level? Where are they? And then together with Europol, we did set up a physical meeting with all the heads of the counterterrorism units in the European Union. And during that meeting, we were able to find a link with Sweden. During that meeting, organized Belgium and Europol. So you immediately saw the added value of Europol. They helped us with the investigation. They helped us with the links, finding links to other countries, and with dismantling the terrorist group. So international police cooperation was indeed very important, and the Taskforce Fraternité offered us the framework how to cooperate on European and international level. So I have good memories on this room because it did put the right people together to identify and to prevent more attacks for the future.
And now we're 10 years since the attacks. You're now the head of Europol. How has Europol work against terrorism changed since then?
What is very important is that Europol is recognized as part of the solution. So when we now have a plot that is developed, a terrorist plot that is developed in a country, from the first phase of the investigation, Europol is involved. Exchange of information is daily business. It's not a question anymore, it's a necessity. Everybody recognizes that. And also the cooperation with the intelligence community on terrorist cases is much stronger than before. It's very important that we keep the memory alive, that we do not forget, and that we try to prevent terrorist attacks for the future so that people can feel safe and that the families of the people, of the victims of terrorist attacks, know that we are remembering them also